All right, let's start with it. Original sin in the Pokemon universe. A dramatic reading by Legal Mindset. In the distant past, hold on, I'm going to raise this microphone. In the distant past, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was still blurred, there was a woman and her companions. Every day they were bored, so they would often catch Slackoff living in the nearby forest. They played cruel games with the captured Slackoff, sometimes killing them for fun, gouging out their eyes and cutting off their ears. Full stop. That's animal cruelty. So we already have one crime here. That is cruelty to animals, severe cruelty to animals. In fact, if that's somebody's pet, that could even be intentional infliction of emotional distress because they are intentionally torturing an animal, right? Very, very, very bad. Not done yet. Oh, we got way more than this. One day, the woman was walking alone in the forest and saw Slackoff hanging from a tree. She climbed the tree to catch it, but slipped and injured herself. At that moment, a Vigoroth appeared. The Vigoroth had a torn ear. Remember, they were cutting off ears. The woman, startled, tried to flee, but her injured leg hurt too much and she couldn't move. The Vigoroth with a torn ear suddenly attacked her when it saw her. The woman lost consciousness. When she awoke, she was in an unfamiliar place. She lay before a clear lake, surrounded by trees, where many Slackoff and Vigoroth were hanging. All the Pokemon bore wounds somewhere on their bodies, marks left by the woman and her companions. Upon closer inspection, she noticed some of the Slackoff hanging from the trees were corpses. They were the very Slackoff the woman and her friends had killed and discarded. The Slackoff were throwing the corpses into the lake. Terrified, the woman tried to run away, but the Slack King appeared. The Slack King had a torn ear. The woman realized this was the same Vigoroth she had seen earlier, and fear overwhelmed her, causing her to faint once more. Okay, so we have kidnapping. We have kidnapping, definitely, or at least unlawful detention, right? So they're definitely kidnapping her, and we're going to figure out what else they were doing besides kidnapping. Oh, also we had assault and battery here. So we had also attacking, and this one is definitely a hit. So we had an assault, but even if here it's just fear and intimidation by the Slot King, we've got, so the Vigoroth, definitely some assault, probably battery there too. And so we're going to have some battery over here as well with the Slot King. So we've got a lot of crimes there already stacking up. We've already got a lot of years on these Pokemon. These Pokemon are going to poke jail for a long fucking time. Yeah, unlawful imprisonment. So we've got a lot of crimes committed by these people. Okay. The woman regained consciousness. She found herself at the entrance of the forest near her home, surrounded by her friends. They carried her back to her home. Sometime later, the woman gave birth to the child, but it wasn't a human child. It was a Slackoff. So we have sexual assault and grape. So we have Poke Grape. So there we have that. So we just got that. Yeah, we had grape, possibly multiple charges because who knows? There's a group of them, so who knows what happened there. But there's that. Let's continue here. She intended to abandon it, but she couldn't bring herself to do so. She stopped meeting with her friends and decided to raise a Slackoff. One day, her friends, concerned with her, visited the area around the home. They found the Slackoff sleeping there, the child and the woman. As they always did, they caught the Slackoff, stabbed it in the chest, and killed it. So probably murder if it was like, if that's her child and it's like half human and all, whatever, but it's still probably murder. Probably murder. They took the corpse and headed to the woman's house. When she saw the Slackoff, she was overwhelmed with sorrow. That is definitely 100% intentional infliction of emotional distress. So if you are showing somebody the corpse of their pet or somebody they knew or whatever else, that's intentional infliction of emotional distress, for sure. For sure. She grabbed the body and ran in the forest. Her friend, shocked, chased her. As they ventured deeper in the forest, the surroundings suddenly opened up and they found some clear lake from before. Around the lake, there were many Slackoff and Vigoroth. The woman stood before the lake, holding the lifeless body of the Slackoff, and threw herself in the water. Afterwards, the woman's friends began to treat Slackoff as companions, just as she had in her final moments. Well, there's there, which technically you're not allowed to kill yourself, but they can't really charge you after you're dead. But yeah, so I counted at least 9 different criminal charges there against the Vigoroth, against the Slackoff. That's pretty fucking bad. What do you guys think? Yeah, we're sending them all to jail. So let's get to the Typhlosion stuff. This one is codename Typhoon, right? So relationship between humans and human way of thinking. This is, once again, unconfirmed lore from the developers, but ultimately very, very degenerate. I know it's hard to see, so I'm going to read this for you guys because I know this is hard to see, but I can see it pretty easily. A long time ago, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was unclear, once upon a time, there was a village. One day, a girl from the village went to the mountains to collect firewood. The girl found some dry, dead trees deep in the mountain, and she went deeper and deeper. When she woke up, the sun was setting, and the girl had lost her way. There were takufu droppings all over the place, which made the girl feel uneasy. Then a man was seen washing on the other side of the forest. The man's face was unlike any other man in the village, but he was very handsome. The man said, "You must be lost. I know the way down the mountain, but it will be midnight if you follow my footsteps. I'll bring you back tomorrow morning, so why don't you stay and rest at my place tonight?" The girl had no choice but to do as the man said. The man took the girl's hand and started walking. As sun was setting, we came to a large cave. They said, "This is my house. You must be hungry. Wait for me." Saying this, the man went out the cave. A short time later, after the man left, a red light appeared in the distance on the mountain, and the sound of trees swaying could be heard. Soon the man returned with a large load of red nuts. "After I eat this, I'm going to sleep. Even if you wake up before me, do not look at me." When the girl woke up, the man was still asleep, but she kept her promise and continued to wait, but fell asleep again. The girl woke up by the man's voice. When she looked outside, the sun was already setting. They said, "Let's eat some green fruit today. Wait for me." And then with that, he went out of the cave. Short time after the man left, a red light appeared in the distance on the mountain, and the sound of trees swaying could be heard. When the sun had set, the man returned bearing a large load of green nuts. The man said, "After I eat this, I'm going to sleep. Even if you wake before me, don't look at me." The girl said she wanted to go home quickly because her family was worried. The man yawned loudly and smacked the girl on the head. So we already have kidnapping for sure. But beyond that, you've now got assault and battery because, you're smacking the girl around. You're literally smacking the girl around. And after she smacks the girl around, the girl forgot about her family and her home. They both ate the green fruit and fell asleep. The next day, the two of them woke as the sun was setting. The man went to gather nuts, and the two of them ate and went back to sleep. Life continued like this, and the girl eventually realized the man was Bakufun, which is Typhlosion, right? In Japanese, Typhlosion. Or Typlosion, right? As winter approached, Bakufun dug deep in the cave and said to the girl, "Go gather some firewood, break off the top branches of the tallest trees you find." The girl tried to do as Bakufun said, but was afraid of tall trees, so she could only climb low ones. After grabbing some branches and returning home, Bakufun said, "No, we have to build a higher branch or the humans will see us." So we're now hiding out because we know we're creating a crime and we have Stockholm Syndrome. As the snow began to fall, the two of them slept in the depths of the deepening hole. There was plenty of food. I woke up every now and then to eat and sleep again. The girl woke up to find a child in her arms. Okay, and there it is. We've now got SA, some form of SA. Probably not consensual. And sleeping, by the way, I forgot to mention this, especially if she did it knowingly. That's what we call a crime against nature. This is crime against nature. If you are engaging in like necropsy, etc., that's a crime against nature, right? So you're doing that, right? So she's committing a crime, right? But definitely a crime on the part of the Typhlosion. After several days and night passed, the girl woke and Bakuhun said, "Your father is looking for you, but you're my wife and I can't give you back. I have to find who legalized this marriage. Who legalized the marriage between a Typhlosion and a human girl? Wait, what? Yeah. Who consented to that?" The girl said, "Please stop. Don't kill my father. How can I live with you after killing my family? You're a good person. Let's stay here and sleep." He says, "Okay, I'll sleep here." The man nodded. The next night, Bakuhun woke the girl and said, "Your father is nearby. Go look outside." When the girl went outside, a snowstorm was blowing. She climbed a low tree and broke its branch. When they returned to the cave, Bakufu was singing a song he never heard before. It said, "You have broken the branch. Your father will be here soon. Now I'm going to do something bad to your father. If you kill me, you can have my eyes, my heart, and my voice. Then I want you to build a fire where I was killed and let it burn. And I want you to sing this song until it burns out." The girl said, "Please stop. You're going to kill my father. Please stop. You let yourself be killed. Goodbye. We'll never meet again." With that, Bakufun went outside. After a while, a loud noise was heard, and the girl peeked outside. It was revealed the girl's father killed Bakufun. I would too with some fucking double lot. With some fucking double lot to the grapist Typhlosion. Yes. Yes. He deserved it. He had it coming. He had it coming. The girl ran outside and told her father, "Father, you killed your son. I have lived with him until now. He is my husband. Please give me your husband's eyes, ears, heart, and voice, Bakuhun." The girl built a fire at the place where Bakuhun was killed and poured the eyes, ears, and voice into the flames. While it was burning out, I sang a song I learned from Bakufun. The girl's father built a hut on the outside of the village and put the girl and her bastard child in it. I added the bastard for emphasis. Eventually, spring came. The young men in the village often teased and abused the girl and her child. Well, depending on what they mean by abuse, that could be a crime. It got worse day by day. At one point, they tried to cover it with the fur of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The girl returned home and complained to her parents. "Tell the villagers not to make fun of us. If we wear those skins, we'll turn into Bakufuns. Even now, I'm half dead." Even though my parents tried to explain it, the people in the village would not listen. On the contrary, they became more amused and covered the girl and child with Tyrannosaurus furs. The girl and the child then howled loudly and disappeared in the depths of the forest. The two never returned. That's how people found out Bakufun is half human. There you go. The cursed, cursed, cursed lore, which I was cursed with reading, and therefore I've cursed you guys with the knowledge. You're welcome.